When Madison Maidenberg signed up for Love is Blind Season 9, she thought she had found the perfect match for her unique situation as someone living with retinitis pigmentosa, a condition that will eventually cause her to go blind. Madison believed the show's concept of falling in love without seeing each other was exactly what she needed. She was tired of being judged on her appearance and wanted someone to love her for who she truly was inside. What she got instead was Joe Ferrucci, a 29-year-old sales manager who has delivered some of the most shocking and hurtful behavior we've seen on the show in years. The drama between Madison and Joe has been building since their very first meeting, but it all came to a devastating head during a pool party in Mexico that has left viewers absolutely furious. What started as a romantic getaway for the engaged couples turned into a nightmare for Madison when Joe got blackout drunk, made cruel comments about her body, and showed his true personality in the most painful way possible. The whole situation has sparked outrage among fans who are calling Joe one of the worst contestants in Love is Blind history. Madison came into the pods with a story that immediately set her apart from other contestants. At 28 years old, she works as a UX/UI designer and has been dealing with retinitis pigmentosa, a genetic condition that causes gradual vision loss. She was completely upfront about her condition from the beginning, explaining to potential matches that she would eventually go blind and wanted to find someone who could love her regardless of her disability. For Madison, Love is Blind wasn't just a dating experiment, it was the perfect opportunity to find genuine love without the usual focus on physical appearance that had made dating so difficult for her in the past. Joe seemed like he could be that person. In the pods, he appeared charmed by Madison's honesty and vulnerability. He told her that her condition didn't change how he felt about her, and their conversations seemed to flow naturally. Madison felt like she had finally found someone who saw past the surface and appreciated her for her personality, intelligence, and heart. When Joe proposed, Madison was over the moon, believing she had found her perfect match who would support her through whatever challenges her condition might bring in the future. But the cracks started showing almost immediately after their reveal. While Madison was glowing with happiness and excitement about finally meeting her fiancé face to face, Joe's reaction was completely different. He looked visibly shocked and could barely form words when he saw her. Instead of the joy and relief that most couples experience during their reveals, Joe told Madison that he felt like he was kissing a stranger. It was a devastating blow for someone who had been so vulnerable about her insecurities and her condition. The situation got even worse when they arrived in Mexico for their romantic getaway. Instead of using this time to build their connection and work through any initial awkwardness, Joe decided to drop a bombshell that would change everything between them. He admitted to Madison that he wasn't at peace during their reveal because he's usually attracted to thinner women and not someone who has a larger physique. He basically told his fiancée, who was already dealing with a serious medical condition, that she wasn't his physical type, and that's why he had been so uncomfortable when they first met. But Joe didn't stop there. He tried to soften the blow by saying that he was at peace with her now, as if that was supposed to make Madison feel better about being told she wasn't attractive enough for him. The whole conversation was incredibly hurtful and showed a complete lack of understanding about how his words would affect someone who was already vulnerable about her appearance and her disability. Madison handled it with more grace than most people would have, but you could see how much his comments had hurt her. The real explosion came during the pool party that all 5 engaged couples attended in Mexico. What was supposed to be a fun, relaxing day by the pool turned into an absolute disaster when Joe decided to drink way too much and completely embarrass himself and Madison in front of everyone. According to Madison, Joe overindulged at the party and became increasingly distant and erratic as the day went on. Other cast members noticed his behavior too, with several people commenting on how drunk and inappropriate he was being. The situation reached a breaking point when Joe became so intoxicated that he had to leave the party early, but instead of asking Madison to help him or wanting her support, he specifically told her not to come with him when he went back to their room to sleep it off. He basically abandoned his fiancée at the party while he went to pass out, leaving her to deal with the embarrassment of his behavior in front of all the other couples. When Madison finally returned to their room later, she found Joe in a completely incoherent state. He was repeatedly asking her where she had been, even though he was the one who had told her not to follow him. When Madison gently suggested that maybe he had drunk too much, Joe's response was shocking. Instead of apologizing or acknowledging his behavior, he snapped back at her with an aggressive tone that showed just how little respect he had for her feelings. What makes Joe's behavior even more unacceptable is the context of Madison's medical condition. Here is a woman who is gradually losing her sight and was brave enough to be vulnerable about her disability on national television. She came on the show hoping to find someone who would love and support her through the challenges ahead. Instead, she got someone who body shamed her, got blackout drunk at their first group event, and then became aggressive when she tried to address his behavior. The fan reaction to Joe's treatment of Madison has been swift and brutal. Social media platforms have been flooded with comments from viewers who are disgusted by his behavior. Many people are pointing out that Madison deserves so much better than someone who would treat her with such disrespect. Fans are particularly angry about the body-shaming comments, with many noting that Joe knew exactly what he was signing up for when he joined a show about falling in love without seeing each other first. Entertainment Weekly's coverage of the episodes highlighted just how problematic Joe's behavior has been, particularly his drunk antics at the pool party that weren't fully shown on camera. Madison herself has spoken out about what viewers didn't see, revealing that Joe's behavior was even worse than what made it into the final edit. She described him as being completely out of control and annoying multiple cast members, not just her. The situation has also sparked broader conversations about how people with disabilities are treated in reality television and dating in general. Madison's story has resonated with many viewers who have faced similar challenges in their own dating lives. Her courage in being open about her condition has been praised, while Joe's response has been seen as a perfect example of the kind of shallow, hurtful behavior that makes dating so difficult for people with disabilities. As we look ahead to the next episodes of Love is Blind Season 9, it's clear that Madison and Joe's relationship is in serious trouble. The pool party incident seems to have been a turning point that revealed Joe's true character, and it's hard to imagine how they could come back from such a devastating display of disrespect and immaturity. Madison deserves someone who will cherish and support her, not someone who will body shame her and then get drunk and aggressive when she tries to address his behavior. The whole situation serves as a painful reminder that not everyone who goes on Love is Blind is actually ready for the kind of deep, meaningful relationship the show is supposed to create. Joe's treatment of Madison has been one of the most disappointing and infuriating storylines of the season, and fans are hoping that Madison will realize she deserves so much better than what he has to offer. What's particularly heartbreaking about this whole situation is that Madison went into this experiment with such hope and optimism. She saw Love is Blind as her chance to find someone who would see past her disability and love her for who she really is. Instead, she ended up with someone who not only judged her appearance, but also showed a complete lack of maturity and respect when things got difficult. The contrast between Madison's grace and vulnerability and Joe's selfish, immature behavior couldn't be more stark. Viewers are already predicting that this relationship won't survive much longer, and honestly, that might be the best thing for Madison. She deserves a partner who will lift her up, not tear her down.